Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So I have a new obsession I must share with you. Do you know who Kyle Cease is? Have you heard of him? This guy is a former comedian, now slash, I would say, coach slash transformational specialist. He has done these large events called Evolving Out Loud. And I happened to see a Facebook ad come through about a recent one, which was called, I think they have a theme to each of them. And so this one was called Love Rising. I'm like, I'm interested. Watched the video. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's unbelievable. Again, why have I not heard about this guy? And then you can get all, because he was recently, he's saying in the videos, the audios, that this is the last Evolving Out Loud that he'll do. But it was last year, 2018, at the Dolby Theater in LA, which is where they hold the Oscars, 3,000 people, like unbelievable, right? And you can buy all this for like $20. I'm like, I'm in. So what I'll do is I'll put the link for this. By the way, I don't get any affiliate link or anything like this. This is just something I just purely want to share my heart from me to you, sister, because I think this guy is unbelievable. But there's one thing that many things. I've actually been through the first, there's like 10, is it 10 or 8? I think it's 8 or 10 kind of modules. They're videos, right? But they also have the audios like on SoundCloud. And so because guess what? I podcast. I also listen to podcasts. I listen to a lot of audio. I will listen to it when I'm walking my dogs or I'm in the car. And so I'm listening to it. And there's this thing that he talks about that he has people say, because he'll have some people up on stage kind of going through these different transformations and processing and going through stuff. And I know that might sound, if this kind of work is kind of newer to you, you're like, ooh, Karen, this is pretty woo-woo for me. Believe me, you will love this guy. He swears, he's hilarious, like he's amazing. I've never heard anybody like him. And I've heard some big name speakers over the last 25, 30 years of my life. And anyways, unbelievable. Just go to the link, Kyle Cease, Evolving Out Loud, But there's something that he says when people are like, I want to do this thing in my life and and this feeling's coming up. And he'll say to them, and they know that their next, will say, quote unquote, line is, and I love that. Now, this might seem really kind of like trivial, flippant, like, what do you mean? I don't fucking love that, right? But let me give you an example of how this comes into play. I literally was just voxing, which is like an audio app, to my good friend Jill. And I'm explaining about this. And this was actually while I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to record a podcast immediately about this because I think it's so exciting and I need to share this with you. And so I said to her, I'm going through a lot of kind of stuff personally in my life right now. And I said to her, I woke up this morning and I'm just feeling gross about everything. And I just really anxious. I didn't sleep well and stuff. And so when I told her that thing about and I love that, I said, okay, let me try this right now. And I'm not doing this so we're not face to face, right? It's not like back and forth. We're on the phone or something like that or texting. It's like a recording, like you're listening to this podcast right now. And so I said that and I go, I woke up this morning and with everything going on, I feel so gross and tired. And I'm like, and I love that. And it instantly, I'm going to kind of like go through this again with you. It instantly changed me. It shifted things for me to go, I woke up this morning and I had been feeling good, but this, last I didn't sleep well. I feel really gross. I feel really anxious about everything going on in my life right now. And I love that. And here's what I went on to say. And I love that because it lets me know that I'm fucking alive. And I love that because it lets me know that that gross feeling is because what's happening with me in my life right now matters. And I'm willing to stay in this. And I love that because it helps me see that even with the gross feelings I'm having about all this stuff, that I can continue to rise, that I can continue to be strong from this. And I love that I have this life to live today, regardless of circumstances that are going on in my life. I will be better as a result of it. Now, all that I felt and was true. This is not rehearsed. This is not like, I'm going to say all the right things. It was just kind of like riffing on this, right? So I'm going to keep this podcast kind of short and sweet, but let me just kind of wrap it up with this. There is a way for you to reframe the circumstances that are happening in your life right now. And it's not bullshit to do this. It's not. It's like, imagine if someone's like, so let me give you a real life example of this. When I was in grade 7, that's Canadian, by the way, we say grade 7. In the States, you will say 7th grade. But in grade 7, I had to get glasses, okay? This would have been like early 80s, okay? Now, kids have glasses at school. No, it was horrifying back then. Like, you're the 4 eyes, you're the smart kid, you're the geek, I don't think we said the word geek, probably nerd. Just, you're not cool. And so I remember I remember when I got this, even though I was embarrassed about it, but I remember coming back from the optometrist, putting on my glasses, and suddenly everything is like, woo, like I could see things and it was crystal clear and it was like, wow. So my eyes were given a new possibility of how to see the world, which before that I didn't know, because it's all I know. It's just my eyes that I see out of. It was a little blurry, a little out of focus. And suddenly I put on those glasses, that new lens, that new way of seeing the world, and went, holy shit, I never saw it this way before. So when you do that to whatever's coming up within your life, I'm fighting with my husband and, oh, I'm so stressed about it, or my kids are driving me crazy, and and you add to this, and I love that. Watch how it begins to shift the way that you see and experience and feel through that. I double dog dare you, sister, to do this with something right now in your life. And have it be real, right? Don't be like, and I love that because, I'm grateful because my kids are crazy and it's, I should be grateful for my kids. And no. Like really, like just go deep on it and just be in it and be in that feeling. So that feeling I had when I'm voxing Jill and I'm like, oh, I feel so gross right now about this stuff. And let me just kind of try this. And I love that. And even as I say it again, it instantly went like, yeah, I feel gross because I give a shit about what's going on. Because I'm willing to continue to do this work. Because that's my dog, by the way, scratching ears, Karma. I don't know if it's coming through the mic or not. Because again, it's the biggest thing that hit when I did it with Jill and I did it with you right now too, is like, it lets me know that I'm alive. I'm here in this experience, moving through it. And I'm going to have times that I feel like shit and gross. And I'm going to have times that I feel like I'm energized. And I love that. It changes things. It is like putting on those glasses where I couldn't see that well, and suddenly I could see things in a whole new light. So here's your more tip for today then. And I think you know what this is going to be, right? Like whatever is coming up in your life right now that you were resisting, you're mad about, you're sad about, you're upset, you're pissed off, you're frustrated, you're overwhelmed. I want you to either talk it out loud, just with yourself you could, right? You could listen in the car, you could do it right now. I don't like, the person at work or my coworker is driving me fucking bananas. And I love that. And start to just explore and play and see where that goes. Now, if you walk into this and you go arms crossed, my coworker is, he's an asshole and I don't like him and I love that, right? Like, listen, you got to be open to this, right? If you want to choose to see a new possibility than the experience that you're currently in, you either talk it out loud or you write it down. Okay. Now, for me, I just found right now in talking it out loud, although I talk a lot to myself, I pray throughout the day. I mean, I do lots of things where I am just talking. So I'm comfortable with that, but I'm also comfortable with writing and journaling. Right. And so you got to do one of those things. Don't do it in your head. It has to be something you either hear your own voice or you write it down and you can see it in front of you. So again, take that current experience that you were resisting, you're stuck in, you're overwhelmed in, you're mad, you're sad, whatever. Write it out in your journal or say it out loud. This is the thing, okay? Don't do a whole lot of drama about it, right? So I just said to Jill, I feel gross this morning, everything that's going on. I didn't go, and then this, and right? It's just like, what are the facts? And then add to it, and I love that. And see what begins to come up for you. Now, a couple of things, sister. Very exciting things coming up. Number one, I literally have, as I'm looking over my office right now, there are three Women Wanting More, limited edition journals left. That's it. And then I'm done. And I've sent out 560 something of them. Like, I love you all, but I'm done after this. So if you want one, this is your last chance. Go to there's two, because I just saw an order came through before I recorded the podcast. Two that are left. Go to drkarenosburn.com/free journal. So that's drkarenosburn.com/free journal. Number 2, I would love for you to join a new Facebook community that I created called The Journey to Feminine. There's 170 women in the group right now in a very short period of time. And the purpose of this is to really have conversations about what does it mean to be a woman? What does femininity mean? There's a lot of us that are kind of really struggling with these definitions, feeling like we've swung so far to one side of being in that really like masculine, hard. I mean, listen, go back to my early podcast. You're going to hear that in me. And if you're wondering why that's not me now, well, because I'm changing, because we all do. We all evolve and we all grow in all of this. And so that has been my experience over the last year. So I'm starting to really have these conversations inside that Facebook group. So go to Facebook, search bar, type in The Journey to Feminine, request to be added to the group. So that's number 2. Number 3, I have something really exciting to share with you, sister. I talked about this last podcast. But this actually came up from asking a lot of questions in the Journey to Feminine of like, what do you need? And what are the biggest challenges? And really listening to the women within that group. And there were 2 main things when I threw out a bunch of different things of, what should I create or what should we do trainings on or what do you really want to talk about? Okay, so number 1 was like, again, this whole conversation of what does it mean to be a woman and femininity and kind of being more in that feminine energy than for a lot of us that have really kind of like for different experiences in life, kind of gone to that real like hard push and forgot all of the beautiful pieces of being a powerful woman. And have kind of negated that and poo-pooed that and said, that's not cool. So number 1 was that. Number 2 was goal setting and creating the life you want. Like really like, how do you do that? And so when I took a look at those are the top 2 responses, I'm like, oh, and I saw something, right? Putting on the new lens. Saw those 2 things. And I love that. And I went, wait a second. Most of the things when it comes to like creating the life you want, setting goals, all this stuff, I've been taught by men, right? That very kind of like push and set your outcomes and go and like don't stop and kind of thing. And what I found is for a lot of women, that does not work. It just doesn't. So we've never had the conversation of like, how do I create the life I want as a woman? Even though I've done coaching the last 3+ years in here as a chiropractor before that, even before that too, but like in this group with Women Want More in this tribe for 3+ years, it's never really been in that conversation. It's been more from the masculine and it's all going to change now. And so what I'm doing to kind of begin this rebirth of this movement is I've created something called the Women Wanting More 21-day challenge where you will really like learn like what is it that I truly want to create for the rest of this year. Okay, I did a Facebook Live earlier. It was like, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be January 1. It doesn't matter. You can start creating your life now in this moment today. And so in these 21 days, there'll be only 21 spots. Like that's it. 21 spots, 21 days for you to really go through the experience to say, okay, here's the things that are kind of in the way. Like here are a lot of the mindset pieces that I got to get clear on. So I know what I want and I know why I want these things. And then I'm going to show you the how and have a plan. So at the end of the 21 days, you will now have a plan to create what you want for the rest of this year. Isn't that awesome? So it's like plug and play. And you get to do it with the support of other women. So here's the deal. This is a program because it's brand new, inaugural group. Number 1, those 21 spots are going to go really fast. Number 2, it is something that every woman is going to be able to invest in herself to do this. I'm telling you right now. So if you want to get on the list, which means that you will get to register in advance of everybody else, and I'm even thinking in that one day, the 21 spots may all go. I really think about 48 hours that they'll go. But for those women that are on the list saying, yes, I want, doesn't mean you have to be in, but you're just saying, hey, I want to have privy to one of those spots, you need to email me. So drkarenosburn@gmail.com. Okay, drkarenosburn@gmail.com or Dr. Karen Osburn, so just like the website, so Dr. Karen, KEREN, Dr. Karen @drkarenosburn.com or drkarenosburn@gmail.com. Okay, you can also go through the contact page on the website, but just say, hey, I would like to get on the list for the 21-day challenge, okay? Right now, there's 17 women that are on this list. There's 21 spots. Yes, I know not everyone who's raised their hand is going to actually follow through, but it is now. Wednesday as I record this podcast, I'm doing Facebook Lives daily, so I'm doing 4 more, and it seems like each time I do them, I get 5, 6, 10 women added to that list because I've only done a couple so far. So now is your time. Do not pass this up, because the next time we do another challenge, the tuition is going to go up more and more and more. So this is the time to get in. So email me, drkarenosborne@gmail.com or drkaren@drkarenosborne.com. Say, I want to get on the list for the 21-day challenge. On Monday, January 21st, I will contact everyone on that list, and you will have that day, 24 hours, to register and enroll. And the challenge begins on January the 28th. Okay, if you're listening this months from now, you're like, oh shit, I missed that. Don't worry, we'll have some new episodes which kind of talk about the next challenges and where this goes from there. Okay, sister, and I'd be pumped to have you be part of it. So I will talk to the next episode. A life of more is just one step away from you understanding that these things that come up in your life, if you simply change the way you start to see them, and I like that, and I love that part of me, and I love that it'll change the way that you experience that experience. And you can do this every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborne.com/newsletter.